My dearest Mary, I am writing you to let you know I'm alive and well, though sleep is hard to come by with the constant din of shells overhead. Hopefully I will start to sleep better now that I am on my 6 days' rest. You would not believe the conditions the men are in out in the trenches. Mud is knee-deep in some places, and with great number of rotting dead bodies, rats are thriving. The stench is overwhelming and nauseating, a combination of raw sewage, body odor, exploded bombs, and chlorine gas. The only way to counter these effects of the gas is to hold urine-soaked rags to our faces. Making matters worse is the only sustenance we've been getting is stale biscuits and watery broth with sliced turnips and carrots. Needless to say, the parcels of chocolate you sent me recently was heavenly. Not to worry, but I currently have a mild case of trench foot. With all of the rain, mud, and soggy duckboards in the trenches, and with living night and day in our boots, the condition is rampant among our men. I can only hope that the weather will take a turn for the better. I hope that you and the boys are keeping your chins up. I deeply regret not being there for Johnny's 3rd birthday. Was he able to enjoy some chocolate cake? I've heard from some of my comrades that their girlfriends and wives have started victory gardens to grow vegetables. What a wonderful idea. To do one's bit for the war effort. How is Mother? I hope she is feeling better. Your ever-loving husband, William.
My dearest William, it was such a relief to receive your last letter. I had no idea how long it would take you to get to the front after you left on the train. The boys and I all miss you terribly. The boys are growing up so fast. Just last week was Johnny's birthday dinner, as you know, and I worry this horrid war will not be over before they are enlisted to fight. Little Stephen even grew his first tooth today. I was so proud, and yet so sad, that you could not be here to enjoy the moment with me. Fortunately, your mother was well enough to join us for Johnny's birthday, which was a great relief to us all. The conditions in the trenches sound absolutely horrible. I cannot imagine you being in there, in the mud and disease, when I am here in our warm, safe home. But I will try to stay strong and do my part for victory by purchasing victory bonds and economizing as much as possible. I myself have started a victory garden so that I can grow my own vegetables and save money. I even joined a Women's Red Cross auxiliary. Once a week we meet and knit comforters, socks and sweaters, and assemble bandages and other goods to send to the soldiers on the front. I dearly hope one of these care packages makes it to you. I am greatly concerned about this mild case of trench foot. I have heard it is a dangerous disease. I hope you have sought whatever medical care you could. My dearest husband, it breaks my heart to hear of your living condition. Cold, wet, and starving. How I wish I could be there to feed you and warm you. But I suppose the only way that will happen is when we finally win this awful war. Please write as often as you can. I cannot rest easy until I hear that you are alive and well. Your loving wife, Mary.
My dearest Mary, it was with great joy that I received your last letter. Thank you for the snaps, as it brings me great comfort to see you all. I was so glad to hear that your mother was feeling well enough to attend Johnny's birthday dinner. It brought me happiness and sadness to learn that Stephen has his first tooth. I am missing so much in the boys' young lives, and I can only hope to come back home in time for Christmas. That said, I fear it will take months longer to turn back the Huns. I report with great sadness that one of the chums I made in my platoon was killed instantly last week when a shell burst right where he was standing. We were awaiting instruction to go over top when we could hear something come through the air, and there was a deafening bang. I was expecting to be blown to pieces myself, but thank God I got nothing but clods of dirt raining upon me. 3 men closest to me were nearly buried alive by the whiz-bang. This was only days after I had been at a listening post just yards from the German line, when there was a huge explosion from what we later learned was a mine. I was thrown up in the air when landing hit my head on a sandbag. I had a splitting headache for days, but there was no time to think of such things when I have comrades dying left and right. I've been one of the lucky ones. Well, I shall sign off now to try to get some much-needed rest, sending hugs and kisses to the boys and you. Your ever-loving husband, William.
My dearest William, it feels as if it has been so long since I last heard from you. The boys send their love. We all miss you dearly. Johnny went to his first Halloween party in town. He He insisted on dressing up as you. He looked so cute with his little hat and shiny black boots, but in the back of my mind I fear that one day this could become a reality. God willing, the war will end soon, for my poor heart cannot handle losing another family member to the war effort. Your last near miss scared the death out of me. Be careful, I cannot stand the agony of constantly wondering whether you are alive or dead. I think about you all the time. Almost every day someone from around here receives a letter saying that someone is dying, dead, wounded, or missing in action. With this said, my heart goes out to the family of your dear friend who was killed by that shell you spoke of in your last letter. My worst fear is that someday that could be you. I know I need to be strong for myself, for the boys, and for you too. I'm trying, but sometimes it is so hard. I guess the thing that helps me the most is my daydreaming. I am forever dreaming of the day that the war was over and I have you back in my arms safe and sound. The kids are so excited for Christmas, and they have been praying nightly that you make it home in time for the festivities. It would be so nice to have the entire family under one roof again. You would be quite shocked, I think, by how much Johnny and Stephen have grown. As always, please write often, be safe, and God bless you. Your loving wife, Mary.
My dearest Mary, I am writing to you from a hospital where I have been convalescing for the last 4 days. After weeks and weeks of avoiding serious injury, I was struck by a shrapnel in 5 places down my left leg. I kept the pieces that caused the greatest wound to bring home to show you and the boys. The pain was tremendous, but I thank God I escaped something far worse. The nurses here have been wonderful, doing their best to assure that the boys here are as comfortable as possible. I am certainly more well-fed here than I have been out in the trenches. The nurses are also treating my symptoms of trench foot. You would think I would be better rested now, but there is one fellow in particular who screams out each night, seemingly frantic and fearful of being attacked. I heard one nurse refer to his condition as shell shock, and I cannot see how he could be possibly sent back out into the front any time soon. As for myself, I imagine I'll be released in a mere matter of days. Being here's given me more time to miss home, so I'm almost eager to be back out on the front line, where instead I am constantly thinking about the next barrage of shells or explosions of mines. I feel such an obligation to those fine, fine men who have lost their lives in this terrible war already. I feel a duty to those of you back home who are counting on us to win the good fight. Thinking of you and the boys, your ever-loving husband, William.
My dearest William, it has been a while since I have last heard from you. Last time you wrote me, you were resting up in a hospital due to a shrapnel wound. I am glad the nurses have been taking such wonderful care of you. I wish I could be there to tend to you myself. Where are you now? How is your leg healed up? Please tell me there is no infection. I've heard enough horror stories about field hospital amputations for my liking. All day yesterday, as I was preparing the Christmas dinner, I kept glancing out the kitchen window, expecting to see you walking in the lane. At the risk of sounding blasphemous, damn this war! I'm so sorry, my dear William. I know I paint this past Christmas Day as all gloom and doom. Things were still cheery, though. The hearth was warm and the house was filled with scents of pine, and I even got new food stamps before Christmas, so I prepared a divine feast. I made apple pie for dessert, your favorite. I wish it would keep well enough for me to send you a huge slice in a care package. Johnny and Stephen had their own Christmas surprise. They found a stray kitten and named it Sparkles. It has been in the house ever since and has been quite the diversion for us all. Last night, after the boys fell asleep, Sparkle sat curled up on my feet at the hearth while I knitted more socks in Christmas colors to send to men on the front. I've also knitted you some warm socks and a sweater as a small belated Christmas present. I hope they find you and keep you warm. Please do not miss us too much. Focus your mind on the task at hand. One foot in front of the other. Every day you are gone means you are one day closer to coming home for good. We will be here waiting for you with open arms. Keep in touch, my love. Your loving wife, Mary.